Hey everyone, this channel is called Wendy's Parade of Perfume and I'm Wendy. On my channel, I just talk about the perfumes that are on my shelf, what I've been wearing, what I've been thinking about, what I've been wanting to talk about perfume-wise. Lately, I've had some people give me some suggestions about, different ideas for videos and perfume lists and things like that. And the one I picked to start with was from Chris from the Perfume Nest. So thank you, Chris. She just suggested just patchouli. And I got to thinking about that one because while I like patchouli and it's in like everything, it's like a base note, it's a fixative. I've just never, I've never been like patchouli. I've never been like, I need to have patchouli. I love patchouli. I need to have every perfume that's patchouli in it. I mean, maybe I'm the only one that acts that way, but I know how I get about certain things. So while I've liked patchouli all these years, it's just never been a focus. So this was really fun to pick through my shelf and find some at least patchouli forward perfumes. Most of these are not like soliflores. A lot of these just, again, have patchouli as like a base note. But the thing with patchouli is that if it's in there, you're going to smell it. But so yeah, real quick, patchouli, it's in the mint family. It's a shrub native to Asia. It is also in the family that includes lavender and oregano. So I thought that was interesting. So it's a dark dynamic fragrance note. The thing that they can do too now with naturals and even perfume molecules is that they can take things away from them. So patchouli on its own can smell pretty dynamic. It can have like a lot going on, and that's not for everybody. And then sometimes with patchouli is for everybody. But regardless, I'm starting to ramble, so let's get started. Just to get this one out of the way, here is a patchouli bomb from Clinique called Aromatics Elixir from 1971. Now, I think I've mentioned that for me, Aromatics Elixir is a oak moss bomb. Like I always think of oak moss when I think of this perfume, but people are right. I mean, patchouli is here from top to bottom, and it is not a polite patchouli. It's dark. It's even resinous. It's like earthy. It's dirty, and I think it's pleasantly dirty, because to me, patchouli smells really earthy. But yeah, if you are not into patchouli fragrances, this is not the perfume for you. And even if you think you're into patchouli fragrances, wait till you meet this one, because this is a lot. This is going to be a lot for most people because it's definitely of the time. Coming off the 60s and heading into the feminist 70s. But this is Clinique Aromatics Elixir. With all those dark green perfumes, and I love 70s perfumes. But anyway, this is a excellent patchouli perfume, mixed with a million other things, mixed with roses and incense and just lots of other things. So it's a good one. This perfume has been on my testing list of should I get a full bottle, and I think I've decided not to. This is Prada Candy Night. And this is a primary patchouli perfume while following the original DNA of Prada Candy, which is having lots and lots of vanilla and benzoin because this is a really sweet perfume line. So Prada Candy Night is interesting because there is also iris and chocolate and oranges in here. And if the perfume had focused a little bit more on those things, I think I would have liked this more. Now, when this opens up, it has a really pretty orange, and then you can immediately smell the chocolate and then the iris blooms. But I really feel like that part of the perfume lasts like less than 5 minutes, and then you get into the patchouli base that is laced with vanilla and benzoin. And while it smells good, and while it has a bit of darkness, I wouldn't say that this is candied. I just wish it was a little bit more of the top. I wish it was a little bit more top loaded, that lasted a little bit longer on the composition. So while I do like this though, this is a really nice, easy to wear vanilla patchouli perfume from Prada Candy Night. So some more designers. This is from the Gucci Guilty line, which I enjoy so much of this line. This is the Absolue Parfum, which I'm telling you right now, anybody could wear this one. Do you like forested perfumes? I love forest notes. I think they're so pretty. And this perfume really has a heavy hit of cypress and pine along with berries. But this is more like frozen in the winter berries next to a cypress and pine tree in the woods when it's snowing. It smells cold and astringent in a very pretty way. I think it's really nicely done. And all of those cold, astringent berry and cypress and pine notes are sitting on a really beautiful rose, which is also sitting on a beautiful bed of patchouli and amber. Now, as this perfume warms up, the forested notes kind of dissipate a little bit, and this turns into like an ambery patchouli rose. But I just think this is really pretty. This is a really beautiful patchouli rose forest scent, and that is Guilty Absolue Parfum. I think this disappeared for a while, and then it came back, which it deserves to. It's a different perfume. It's nice. Okay, one we've seen, we all know, we all see. This is Narciso Rodriguez for Her, Eau de Parfum, one of the pink ones. Kind of like in the modern chic category, you know, with a strong patchouli base. But this perfume has been around for a long time, and I feel like it deserves to be. It's like a really pretty peachy, musky rose on top of like a bed of patchouli cedar. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just a really kind of straightforward patchouli musk with a lot of roses and a little bit of peach to soften everything up. I think I don't have a lot to say about this because I feel like everybody at least kind of is familiar with this perfume. But yeah, this is a really nice patchouli based, at least. It's not, the patchouli isn't the forefront, I don't think. I think the peachy musky roses, but you can, if you don't like patchouli though, don't wear this one because you will smell it. And I haven't worn this perfume in a long time, but I do like it, and I think I'm going to keep it forever. And that is Narciso Rodriguez for Her, Eau de Parfum. I have two elegant patchoulis on my list. The first one is from Chanel. This is Paris Deauville. I remember when these were like $75 a bottle. Oh, those were the days. That's okay. Anyway, as far as what this smells like, I first of all think this is a really interesting perfume because it has a lot of bergamot and lemon on the top, along with a lot of green basil. So there's a bit of greenery in here. And then there's some white flowers like orange flower and some jasmine. And this dries down into a woody patchouli. And the patchouli is soft, and it's not like minty, earthy, camphorous, like real strong. It's just a little bit more on the demure and woody side, but still, the patchouli's here, and layered with the really pretty citruses and the haze of white flowers and the basil, the green basil. I think this is a very grown up and elegant patchouli floral, and that is Paris Deauville. Not too strong, but also not too meek either. This wears really nicely on the skin, I think. The second elegant patchouli perfume I have is from Estee Lauder, and that is Radiant Mirage. Now, this is a little bit simpler than the Chanel because this is mostly a jasmine patchouli perfume with a little bit of sandalwood to kind of ground it down a little bit more. But this is really simple, but if you like just, you know, a simple woody floral that kind of wears close to the body, but you know, people will definitely see you first, and then your fragrance will just be a little whisper. While still being patchouli, this would be the one to pick. I also like these because right now, at least in 2025, most of these from this line are very affordable because I think Estee Lauder is discontinuing all of them, which I think is a shame because even the cap is nice. The bottle's pretty, cap is nice, solid Estee Lauder quality, but that is the Jasmine Patchouli of Radiant Mirage from Estee Lauder. This next perfume is a little bit more, at least the way it smells, it's not a vintage perfume. It is discontinued, I'm sorry, but this is Valentino Noir Absolu Musc Essence. You just have to have these long names that are confusing. Anyway, this is when Valentino was owned by Puig before they got bought out by L'Oreal. This perfume, to me, is very vintage smelling. If you can believe it, it smells like a cross to me. What the two perfumes that I think of are the black Narciso Rodriguez for Her, the one with the orange blossom, and Chanel No. 5. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but hear me out. This perfume has a lot of aldehydes on top, a little bit soapy, but just like those bright sparkling aldehydes. And then the florals in the middle, there's some rose, but the two predominant florals are heliotrope and orange blossom, which is a very pretty combination. surrounded by all of those aldehydes. And then this dries down into like a tonka bean patchouli with some cedar and musk, you know, and all those base notes that they tend to throw in. But I feel like this is a patchouli floral with a lot of aldehydes in it. So it's like an aldehydic patchouli. I think this would go great with like a little black dress. This is definitely a little black dress perfume too, but it's not going to be for everyone because it does smell a little bit vintage, which is fine by me, but you know, I just have to, you know, buyer beware. Anyway, oh God, I can never even remember. What did we say this was? Wow, how creative. Noir Absolue Musk Essence from Valentino, but creative perfume, just these names, these flanker names, how can you keep track of them all? Okay, let's do some good old fruit choulis because who doesn't like those? These were very popular a while back. Just, you know, candied florals, candied fruits on sweet beds of patchouli, and those were the days. Anyway, per usual, the flanker I like is always discontinued. This is one of the Idoles. This is L'Intense from Lancome. And this one is, to me, and I can't take credit for this because I feel like I was reading the reviews and I felt like this described this perfume perfectly. Like, to me, this is like $1 million chypre, like a modern chypre, $1 million fruit choulis / modern chypre, because the florals are just stunningly gorgeous. They've just done a really good job. Whatever they got for the florals, they have, I mean, it's the same thing. It's rose and it's jasmine with some oranges on top. You guys know what fruit choulis smell like. But with a lot of patchouli on the bottom with some sandalwood and cedar and some vanilla, of course, to brighten everything up. While this is very patchouli heavy, I would say that this is an easy to wear cleaned up patchouli. So it's not going to be like the 70s patchouli that we had with our Aromatics Elixir. It is just going to be an easy to wear modern floral chypre, like they used to call them, but modern fruit choulis. And that is sorry, again, I can't keep track of all these flankers. The L'Intense version of Idole. Let me spell this again. I don't know, very pretty. I mean, the other thing too is that I have to admit that the rose is the most predominant floral note in here. So if you're not looking for a rose perfume, this would not be the one to get, but I like that one for a fruit choulis. I don't know if Dior is still making these specifically. This is the Eau de Toilette version of Miss Dior, and this is pretty old. This came out like before 2015, so I know this is more than 10 years old. This is another fruit choulis / modern chypre. I think even on the site, yeah, it says chypre floral. That's what they were calling these for a while. But yeah, anyway, I like this one because this patchouli almost has that like cooling camphorous mentholated patchouli that blends really well with the oranges, with the rose and the jasmine and the patchouli and the vanilla, because it's a fruit choulis. It has to be a little sweet. But this is a really, really, really beautiful, though, rose patchouli fragrance. For some reason, I think that patchouli goes really, really well with roses. And the roses that they have used in here at the time were very pretty, and they're still pretty to this day. But I really like this as a fruity rose patchouli, but has that nice camphorous hit too. And that is Miss Dior Eau de Toilette. Probably the original fruit choulis, as we know, is from Chanel. That is Coco Mademoiselle, and that is the Eau de Parfum Intense. And this smells very similar to the OG one, I think. I just happened to pick this up. Now, what this makes this more intense is that I feel like this is a little bit more like just ambery overall, and like the vanilla is a little stronger than the original. But this is another one. The patchouli in here, it's a little bit cleaned up, but it's there. Like it's a little bit mentholated. It's a little bit camphorous too. I think that's what I pick up sometimes, along with being a little bit woody and a little bit green. So everybody knows what Coco Mademoiselle smells like. I don't really need to go into that, but I do think that the Intense version was a very nice addition and still true to the fruit choulis source of things. So that is Coco Mademoiselle Intense from Chanel. I'm gonna smell you too. You smell good. one too, I think has a little bit, you know, amber can have those forest notes, and I feel like that one's a little bit forested too, the Intense Mademoiselle. Okay, so a very famous patchouli perfume was from Thierry Mugler, which was Angel, which I do not have on this list, mostly because I've smelled it like in passing, like way after it came out, but I don't know what the original Angel smells like. What I do have, though, is discontinued. They put out a couple of these Miroir, Majesty Mirror perfumes that had these big obnoxious boxes, and I had to get rid of the boxes because they were so big and too bulky. But this is Miroir Voluptes from Thierry Mugler, and what these were supposed to be were like these oud perfumes, and I don't think that this perfume is oudy at all. This perfume, to me, what they did was they used a lot of patchouli and tobacco and sandalwood to say that it was oudy, which I just don't think it's oudy. But back to the way this one smells like, this Thierry Mugler perfume. This smells like lots and lots of honey over these beautiful flowers, African orange flower and heliotrope and roses, on top of tobacco, like slightly smoldering tobacco and a little bit of spice, and a lot of patchouli. A little bit of woody sandalwood, but a lot of patchouli. So I would say this is a spicy, woody patchouli tobacco perfume, which is very interesting. This perfume has a lot of changes. It is sweet, but it has enough of that spicy stuff to keep it down here on earth. And yeah, this is a really good patchouli perfume. Not oud, patchouli. Thierry Mugler, Miroir Voluptes. I think I'm down to all niches now. Can't have a perfume list without an Annick Goutal, and this is Mon Parfum Cherie par Camille from Annick Goutal. Unfortunately, they do not make this perfume anymore. Now, this is patchouli mixed with plum and iris and a little bit of incense, and it's very, very, very pretty. This perfume is very linear, like what I just said, those notes. That's pretty much the whole perfume. When you spray it on, it'll wear like that for 5-6 hours, and it'll just fade off. But the patchouli in here is dark. It's a little bit chocolatey. It's rich and deep, and it's very woody, and it's very, very pretty. And mixed with the iris and the plum, it's just the perfect combination. And this is a simple perfume, so I feel like that's all I have to say. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's not beautiful and well done. But that is Mon Parfum Cherie par Camille from Annick Goutal. Here's one that comes on and off the market all the time. Now, this is from Anna with the little accent, Anna Pliska. And this is actually niche in vintage because this came out in 1987. Oh my God, this smells so good. Okay. This perfume is primarily patchouli mixed with a bunch of geranium and a lot of oranges, but the orange itself is kind of like creamy. So you have that kind of like bitter and strong geranium mixed with a very dark chocolatey patchouli. But the orange, it's almost like, and normally I don't like stuff like this, but it does really kind of smell like a soft orange cream. Like the orange has been like put into a nice cream to just kind of soften everything up and sweeten it up a little bit. Everything in here just goes so well together. At the time that I bought this, it was like $75, and I'm hoping it comes back on the market again in an affordable way, because this is a really good perfume, and I hope it comes back because it's not available right now, I don't think. But anyway, this is the really, really sweet but dark at the same time. Dark and sweet. Anna Pliska indie perfume. Really, I mean, I don't know. I don't think she has anything else. It's almost like an indie perfume. Oh, we're getting down to the end here. This is well, at least within the perfume world, a pretty well-known patchouli perfume. This is from Serge Lutens. This is Borneo 1834. Oh, talk about oak moss also, and in addition to the patchouli. This is an old bottle, and the packaging that I had oak moss very high in the list of notes. Oh gosh, this perfume is really, really pretty. This is a dark forested patchouli that is a little bit coniferous. It does have that chocolate aspect to it too, but it has a lot of oak moss in it. And I just feel like you're in a silent forest with a lot of huge pine trees and fog. And that's what you can smell. You can smell the fog, you can smell the pine trees, you can smell the earth, you can smell the pine needles. You can also just smell like the licheny oak moss and just the darkness of the patchouli. It is very, very pretty if you like that sort of thing, and really well done. Talk about things that go on and off the market. I think this may be in the bell jar now. I'm not 100% sure. I, blithely bought this on FragranceNet back in the day, if you can believe that. I had so many of these Serge Lutens, and I would do the, what are we supposed to do if we're not wearing our perfumes? We're supposed to give them away. And I did that with a few, and I really regret it now because so a lot of them are not available anymore. But anyway, that is a really pretty patchouli oak moss green chocolatey perfume from Serge Lutens. Okay, now these last two I'm going to end on are both niches, and these are like, if you want patchouli, you've got it. If you want to be like choking out patchouli, like aggressive patchouli, you've got it. This is from Nobile 1942, and this is called Patchouli Nobile, or Noble Patchouli, I guess. This perfume is just, it's rich and almost syrupy while still having that dark camphorous, almost minty, basement, earthy, dark. Like, you see how dark that is? That's how dark this perfume is. With a little, I would almost say like a little bit of incense and like a little bit of resin too. But this is really dark and really heavy. This is like ton of bricks, like ton of brick freaking patchouli. I have not worn this that much. If anything, I wear 1 or 2 sprays at a time because it is just so rich and so thick. And it's very well done, and I do like it, but it's not something that I reach for very often, and it has to be very, very, very cold in order for me to wear it. Still though, if you're in the shop for that sort of thing, it delivers. So that is Patchouli Nobile. Noble Patchouli. Okay, another one. I think I'm saying this right, or I'm attempting to. Lanerides. That is Patchouli Préchaud. And this is like the other one, except it's a slight, maybe like a little bit greener than this. While still, don't get your nose too close to that one. While still having that like dark green, forested incense, labdanum, resiny, just anything that can add to the darkness of this perfume, it's there. But this is still an overwhelming brick wall of patchouli. Oh my gosh. It's really, really pretty though. It's just a little bit of a lot. That's all. And I think that's why it's good that patchouli's, for me, I guess, I like patchouli more as a base note and not maybe patchouli as like the absolute forefront. Like, it's okay if I can smell patchouli through the whole composition, but if it's primarily patchouli and then everything else is built around it, maybe it is a little too much for me. I don't know, because these two I've worn so infrequently over the years that I don't know. But anyway, yeah, little forested, but still dark patchouli, probably with a little bit of resins too. I didn't quite look up the notes for this one before I started talking about this, but anywho, we're closing in on almost 25 minutes, you guys. Tell me what you think about patchouli. Do you love patchouli perfumes? What are your favorites? Do you hate patchouli? Do you think it's gross? Whatever. Or just tell me what you're wearing, or just say hi, because I love to talk to my friends. And for all of you that have stuck with me for this long, I really appreciate it. I think I'm going to work on a leather and suede note list next, along with just like an autumn perfume tray. Since I could never get my act together and do a tray like weekly or monthly, like some people do, seasonally is about as good as I get. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and thank you for sticking with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.